Écoute tout le monde les petits saumons, j'espère que vous avez bien cette vidéo. Vous allez voir tout simplement la troisième vidéo, la troisième partie finalement consacrée tout simplement au plus gros tournoi, à ma performance sur le plus gros tournoi de Marvel Snap en Europe pour le moment. Alors avant que je continue, je vous invite vraiment à regarder évidemment les deux premières vidéos qui sont consacrées à la première phase, finalement la phase qualificative pour le top 8. Donc voilà, ne vous spoilez pas, arrêtez la vidéo là, regardez la première puis la deuxième et ensuite vous pouvez enchaîner évidemment. Donc pour ceux qui sont encore là, donc ce que vous allez voir là maintenant sur 3 vidéos, ce seront tout simplement les matchs de top 8. Alors c'était un top 8 un peu particulier, pardon. Il y avait winner bracket et loser bracket. Tout simplement, donc je ne sais pas si je l'ai mis dans la vidéo précédente, mais voilà, à l'issue de ce fameux ladder privé, de cette première phase qualificative, finalement il y avait un top 8 et ce top 8 était qualifié tout simplement pour le top 8. Sauf qu'il y avait une petite subtilité, les 4 premiers du classement étaient en winner bracket et du 5 au 8 c'était en loser bracket. Moi j'ai fini 5ème, donc loser bracket, donc forcément le chemin, on va dire, pour arriver jusqu'à la finale est beaucoup plus complexe. En winner bracket, en gros, bah, c'est classique. Hein, c'est si tu fais victoire, en gros, il y a quart de finale, demi-finale, finale. Loser bracket, bah, finalement, tu commences par quelqu'un qui est en loser bracket. Si tu gagnes le match d'après, tu joues contre quelqu'un qui était en winner bracket qui a perdu. Le match d'après, si tu regagnes, donc tu es déjà à 2-0 en loser bracket, tu joues contre quelqu'un qui était en loser bracket et pareil et qui a fait comme toi. Et ensuite, tu joues, si jamais tu as fait 3-0, contre finalement le pareil, celui qui était en winner bracket et qui a perdu. Et là, justement, c'est le fameux match pour la finale. Donc, vous voyez, c'est vraiment le parcours du combattant, si je puis dire. Il y a vraiment 4 matchs à gagner pour arriver en finale. Donc, il y avait une vraie différence entre le top 4 et finalement du 5 au 8. Bref, en tout cas, ce que vous allez voir, c'est 2 matchs dans cette vidéo. Alors, moi, je vais vous proposer tout le tournoi, que je sois dans les matchs ou pas dans les matchs. Enfin, comment dire, je vais évidemment... je vais pas vous montrer tous les quarts de finale, tous les demi-finales. Je vais à chaque fois vous en montrer un. Mais ce que je veux dire, c'est que si je suis pas en finale du tournoi, je vous montre quand même la finale. Si je suis pas en demi-finale on va dire en match pour la 3ème place, je vous montre quand même le match, etc. Donc ouais, il y aura des commentaires en français quand moi je stream, et il y aura des commentaires en anglais quand finalement soit je joue, soit je ne suis pas là. Bref, pas de spoil évidemment. Donc vous allez voir tout simplement le premier, entre guillemets, le premier match. Ça me paraît un peu flou là mon explication, mais en même temps quand j'explique c'est toujours flou. Donc finalement là c'est assez raccord, c'est assez cohérent avec le personnage. Donc le premier match du top 8 en loser bracket, et ensuite le match d'après pareil en loser bracket. La vidéo d'après ce sera donc le 3ème match du loser bracket. Ensuite ce sera pareil dans la vidéo d'après. Il y a 2 vidéos par, enfin 2 games par vidéo. Ce sera le... donc voilà, dans cette vidéo, comme ça c'est plus clair, 2 matchs. Dans la vidéo d'après, 2 matchs dont la place pour finalement la finale. Et dans la 3ème vidéo, il y aura la finale avec ou sans moi dans tous les cas. L'idée c'est vraiment de vous proposer tout le tournoi. Sur ce, je vous souhaite un délicieux, désolé, délicieux visionnage. Non, il a pas, il a. C'est Chavez. Nique ta race, le lieu. Ah, la flûte. Quel lieu d'enfoiré. On n'est pas béni par les lieux. Hein. Bah, Profix peut pas le jouer maintenant. Merci Altoïd. Merci pour le prime, c'est gentil. Ah zut. J'espère que ma grand-mère elle est en train de regarder le match. Hein. Histoire qu'elle me fasse un petit couscous pour en rentrant là. Je le mérite. Hein. Jaune-orange. Yes, papa.
Je suis Iron Man.
Okay, let's go.
And now we can see the next matchup, TheFishou and Ilu. Elu?
Arlie. I'm pretty sure it's Arlie. Ilu is the team name.
Oh, Arlie. Oh,
Yes.
yes, like Charlie, but without C, yes.
Exactly.
Arlie.
So, TheFishou was mostly streaming from his own stream, and we did not get to showcase TheFishou's decks yet.
Yes.
It is going to be a Thanos Lockjaw list, but the ongoing version with Onslaught and the Professor X. And the other one is an Electro list, which he titled Greedy himself. A lot of top-end cards, very interesting tech choices. The Arnim Zola being able to destroy and copy something like Jubilee for multiple additional draws. It's very spicy. Also, Jubilee being able to pull Odin, reactivating Jubilee right away for another big card. There's a lot of interesting synergies here. On the
I
other
really
hand,
like Jubilee in this deck.
absolutely. What do you think of Arlie's decks? Negative
Oh,
surface?
I've been told it's Elvit. Elvit?
Huh?
Their name
Okay.
is Elvit.
Okay.
Oh, the
Oh,
team
the team name is
Team name is
Elvit,
Elvit.
and the player is
My
Arlie.
bad. The player is
Yeah.
Arlie, yes.
And we've got Negative Surfer. I think we both love to see it. A lot of very interesting tag choices in that Negative Surfer deck. Rogue is a very uncommon one, but might do well in this meta with a lot of Patriot decks, with a lot of Devil Darkhawk decks.
Rogue can steal Sandman.
Well, yeah. Unbelievable. How broken is that?
Amazing value.
And we also have a Devil Dino control deck. So Arlie having a bit of a different meta read, but the Rogue will be pretty amazing in this matchup, mostly if it can hit the Thanos Lockjaw matchup, stealing Onslaught, stealing Iron Man, stealing Claw or Devil
Yeah.
Dino.
Yes.
Huge.
I both of these decks are very cheap. There's no series 4 or 5 cards.
That's actually a great point. I initially thought it would also be a Devil Darkhawk version, but there's no Rock Slide, no Darkhawk, no...
It's just pure Dino.
Yeah, an OG Dino deck with Spider-Man and Professor X to really give some outplay potential and maybe outsmart the opponent, lock them out of some locations, while Devil Dinosaur takes one of the other ones. Could be pretty good.
Yeah, and also there was Daredevil in the deck as well, which I love in tournaments, because it just gives you so much information on turn 5. Unlike Kang, you can see your opponent's play, but they can't change what they do, right? And also, it doesn't waste time with animation.
Oh yeah, that's so much nicer for us spectators, for us casters. At the same time though, Daredevil gives a very interesting opportunity for mind games. Because even if you don't hold Professor X, you could just bluff snap, intimidate your opponent,
that's true.
make them retreat.
Usually, like if you're playing against a Daredevil player and they snap, you pretty much always leave, right?
Yeah, it's at least a very strong sign of power. Unless you have a cracked hand yourself, you're gonna leave. But even if that happens, then the Daredevil player can still retreat on turn 6, so they're not really investing that much.
That's true.
Daredevil, while not having,
very interesting.
Yeah, not having the strongest stat line, but a lot of outplay potential here. And I would love to see it. I would also expect the Devil Dinosaur deck to be played, to be honest.
Yes.
Just because, like you said, the Surfer deck is inconsistent, but also just gets countered very hard by Wave and Sandman.
The Dino deck can also beat the Sandman deck.
It's true, the Devil Dinosaur is not being threatened in any way.
Yeah, the Dino can win a lane on its own, and also we have Professor X maybe, and Daredevil to win another lane. Spider-Man, also very interesting.
Absolutely.
Help us win a lane, although there's Doctor Doom. You must not forget that.
What is very special about this deck, though, is there's no Mystique. The only way to go tall besides the dinosaur is to copy another dinosaur with Moongoran.
Oh, I don't have Mystique in my Dino deck either. Because if you think about it, unlike in a Dino Darkhawk deck, there's only one ongoing you want to copy, right? You don't really want to copy anything else. Unless sometimes you want to copy Cosmo, which is quite interesting.
And copying Professor X can also be absolutely nuts.
Oh, that's true.
Especially if you know you're facing Doctor Doom a lot in this meta.
Yes.
Like Xing one location, Xing another one.
But that's so risky because it's zero power blocking a location.
That is absolutely true. It would just be a nice optional line of play. But yeah, it's also true with the Cosmo. It's not. It does have a strong effect, but it doesn't add any power, and it does cost you 3 mana, 3 energy on one of your key turns. Mystique not a must in that archetype, but overall very well balanced, very well built with a lot of power plays. Also the Sentinel Quinjet interaction, the combo that we haven't seen in a long time. Used to be meta a long time ago though, and some control tools.
You know what I really want to see? I want to see Cosmo denying Electro.
Oh,
that would be so juicy.
And like Doctor Doom, everything is good. The players seem to be good to go. It will be Arlie against TheFishou here, and it is the Thanos deck on TheFishou's side.
And like we called, it is the Devil Dino deck from Arlie.
So TheFishou taking a bit of a risk here, potentially running into the Rogue matchup, but maybe just reading Arlie correctly that Mr. Negative is not going to get queued up here.
Yes.
And we will have kind of a dinosaur mirror, although the rest of the decks looks very different.
True. And good thing about playing Dino with Thanos is you have a lot of card drawing cards for like very cheap. The stones draw cards for you, and they're very cheap to play as well.
That is true.
So many. Oh,
Ooh, the dinosaur on TheFishou side got hit.
Oh, the Iceman hitting the Dino.
Not a huge issue because Time Stone can cheat out some energy,
That's
but it does kind of ruin the current hand state of TheFishou. Ideally, in this situation, TheFishou would have wanted to play the Time Stone on turn 3, then play a 5-cost card on turn 4, and another 5-cost card on turn 5.
True.
That does get ruined by Iceman here. Kawa actually mentioned earlier on the importance of Iceman.
The Iceman in tournaments. Yes, now we can see the full strength of Iceman in tournament. Oh, Bifrost?
Bifrost pops out as a location. Won't do too much here, except that it kind of ruins TheFishou's Atlantis, right? You don't really want the Reality Stone to be the only card in Atlantis.
That's
it's very easy to beat.
And we already used our Reality Stone very early on, so there is no way of changing the location. I like kind of holding on to Reality Stone until I see all the locations to see if there's anything I can do, you know, in my favor.
But I think I do agree with TheFishou here, like, if you don't have any other options, the draw, the draw is still very, very important.
True.
So sometimes you can't afford to have that luxury of keeping the reality stone for safety. Interestingly enough, the hub created a second blue marvel here. So if we do see the time stone on turn 3, and it is coming down, it could be blue marvel into blue marvel on turns 4 and 5.
We'll actually see Arlie pull the reality stone from the hub.
Oh, with the
The hub,
Polaris.
sorry, the hub.
Le hoop?
The hub. The hoop? Is that how you say it?
I have no idea.
Le hub.
My school French is also like, it's not very extensive.
Either way, you have to place something into the hub so that you know your Bifrost location doesn't get completely blocked.
Absolutely true, and Blue Marvel will be coming down and will be the sole competitor of Atlantis for now. Arlie is probably also going to place something into the hub. The question is what? Spider-Man is very interesting here because the hub is going to get cleared out, and at least on turn 5, TheFishou would not be able to play anything there.
I mean, you kind of want to wait until turn 5 to play Spider-Man, right? So to completely lock them out from on turn 5. But
it would still be a cool play here because it restricts TheFishou to only be able to play into Atlantis or Bifrost on turn 5.
So
it is White Queen instead.
Now we know that Arlie has TheFishou's Devil Dino.
At 6 cost.
Oh, yes.
So Arlie could technically go Dino into Dino even with never having found Moon Girl.
Oh no, the Lockjaw.
Oh, the Lockjaw comes out just in the nick of time.
But remember, Lockjaw has been nerfed, so you can't just drop a bunch of cards into it anymore, unlike a few days ago.
Yeah, but with the hand state that TheFishou currently has, on turn 6 he can go Power Stone, shuffle that in with Lockjaw, and then still play Blue Marvel or Claw, two very solid power cards.
That's true.
Question is, where does what go? TheFishou is a bit starved for location space. Doesn't necessarily want to break the Atlantis buff. The Spider-Man will shut down the Lockjaw on the final turn, so it really comes down to how big is this pull going to be from the Wasp. It is an Iron Man, and that is fairly weak, but with the Blue Marvel,
I don't know, it's quite a lot if you think about it. The second Blue Marvel is going to be...
The second Blue Marvel is another 4 power, and that is going to be very unexpected.
Also, yes, because it was generated by the hub, and TheFishou smartly played the original Blue Marvel he had in his hand, so he didn't give away that he has a Blue Marvel from the hub.
But I think Arlie is still going to be wary of it because TheFishou does play Onslaught. So, even though he would never imagine a second Blue Marvel having been generated, he still plays around the same effect. Yeah, that was the ongoing Thanos deck that we saw earlier on. It played Onslaught.
Okay.
So I think Arlie is going to be aware of it and is currently deciding whether or not to contest the hub. The issue is, just playing a dinosaur into the hub, yes, you win that location, but are you going to win both of the other ones?
Yes, because with this play, with second Blue Marvel, we tie the right hand side.
Exactly.
And we win middle as well. So we need something like a Dr. Doom.
Yeah, that would be brilliant.
But Dr. Doom doesn't win because then we lose the buff from the Atlantis on the White Queen.
It is going to be a big card either into the left or the right side. I would assume Arlie is going to go for the left. I am not fast enough to do all of the tiebreaker maths here, I will be quite honest. This might come down to tiebreakers, and I'm not quite sure who would be favored. The dinosaur is going to be a solid 15 power. Blue Marvel does come down above the left side up to 12. Middle location goes to 18, and by 1 power difference.
Oh, that was so close.
And you can see the disappointments in Arlie's reaction. That was incredibly close. I wonder if the players actually mathed that out entirely, or if it was a bit of a, okay, Hail Mary, let's see how this goes, let's see what happens.
I mean, like we said, Arlie did not expect a second Blue Marvel. Maybe they expected an Onslaught, but then Onslaught wouldn't have lost them the tiebreaker because of the middle. They were able, TheFishou was able to play another card.
That is true. The Power Stone was very sneaky here.
Yes, the Power Stone.
Not quite sure if that would have made a difference.
I think it would have made a difference.
Because the Onslaught would have also been 9 power, right? Because it gets the Blue Marvel buff twice. So it might have still been the exact same outcome.
True.
But this is something that's so tough to read, so tough to predict, so tough to calculate.
Onslaught is 8, no?
Onslaught is 7 base power.
Yes, but +1 only.
Yeah, but Blue Marvel gets doubled by Onslaught, so it's +2. Right? The Blue Marvel effect gets doubled.
Yes. Yes, you're right.
Okay, so we do see an early time stone on turn 2, a very uncommon line of play. I think TheFishou is just very desperate for draw and also wants to play for the Raft, because if TheFishou finds another cheap card like a stone...
Oh, he's holding on to it.
Okay. He's very close to filling up the Raft already.
Yes.
Because of Wasp being in hand.
But you don't want to fill it out too early because oh,
Sanctum Sanctorum, and both players kind of whiff on this, but we know that TheFishou plays Claw, and it is currently in hand. Oh, that makes it tricky though, because now you can't really, you don't want to fill up the raft to keep one space open for Claw.
Wait, but Morag.
And Morag, yeah. Maybe it's, the Wasp is very good for Morag, but you can, now you have limited options of playing any cards at all.
Yes, is it really wise to play Time Stone now because you lock yourself out?
But you can, next turn, you can like go Wasp middle and maybe something like Blue Marvel left. It's not that strong though, is it? And you really want to keep one slot open for Claw. Oh, the Reality Stone could break Morag open again.
Oh, true, but then...
But it's for both players.
Yes,
do you want to do that?
I don't know.
So the really important question that both players have to ask themselves here is, like, they hate to see these locations, but they need to think, is the location even worse for my opponent? Is it worth removing this with a Reality Stone, or should I just like take the handicap, but make sure that my opponent is even more handicapped by the situation?
True. Oh, these locations are very interesting.
Claw does come down.
Because if you fill out the raft, then you can't play your free 6-drop. Unless you change Reality Stone. Change Morag with Reality Stone. Yeah,
this is a very tricky and tough to navigate situation for both players.
Fun for us to watch though.
Absolutely. I want to ask you, Nina, what do you think? Are you one of the type of players who would hold Claw here until the very final turn to try to trick your opponent into staying and not showing that you have a power play?
I don't know, maybe, but this is an open deck list. So my opponent knows that I have Claw in my deck. Maybe if it was on ladder, I would hold on to it until last turn.
That's a good point. Although having it in deck is not the same as having it in hand, especially with a Thanos deck.
But I am quite an unlucky player, so I always think that the opponent has drawn the card that they need.
And they always have it.
They always have it, yeah.
Okay, and now we are in the situation where it just gets really, really tough because you only have one more shot. As soon as you fill up the raft.
Yeah, I think we might actually see Soulstone, Reality Stone. Soulstone into the raft, and then Reality Stone into Morag.
That is interesting. Or we might see something like a pass here. And last turn is just going to be Soulstone plus, for example, Blue Marvel left plus Wasp left.
I don't think we can pass because we know that our opponent has Professor X.
Right, just what we mentioned earlier on Daredevil's superpower here. Professor X actually being in hand could be quite impactful. Now it's very interesting. This gives... Well, this kind of gives Arlie another turn, more or less, or another added time frame at least. And he does now know the Reality Stone is coming down, so he can fill up the raft without the worry. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he does know. Yeah.
Oh, this Daredevil is incredibly strong because of the information he just provides for free. This is super crucial information.
We need to do the maths. So, from the... What's the orange stone called? Soulstone.
Yes.
So you have -4 on top, right?
Yeah. So Arlie is really considering the Prof
really
X
close,
here, or the Devil Dinosaur.
But I think that's dangerous because we know that TheFishou runs Blue Marvel.
Exactly. And it also comes down to which cards does the raft actually generate. Leader comes down for TheFishou, or rather comes up into the hand.
Odin for Arlie.
Yeah, or Odin is a well-statted card here, but there aren't a lot of targets to hit for the Odin. White Queen really being the only card left.
But we see Arlie's definitely one middle. And TheFishou has one right side, pretty much. There's very few things that can actually... The only thing that I can think of is like Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
But there's no way. No, opponents don't have Captain Marvel, and she's a pull, turn 5... Oh my god, 5-cost card.
Yes.
So there's no way to get her from the raft. Oh, the leader is coming down.
And it does look like Leader and Thanos is quite the power play, and it can copy the Devil Dinosaur. And the dinos are going to be equally big. But Arlie is also pumping out a lot of power here and should be good on the tiebreakers, I think.
Is there a Devil Dino?
Yeah, there was a second Devil Dino that was copied from
Moon
Moon Girl.
Yes, of course. Oh my.
So Arlie is going to have...
Oh. But wait. No, this is wrong. Because TheFishou is revealing first, he's going to copy the Odin, not the Dino.
True. TheFishou has priority here with the one power, with the Reality Stone in the, what is it called, Pet Mansion on War Domestique.
Oh,
he does copy Odin instead, but there's no space for the leader to copy another card.
Oh wait, there's not enough, Oh!
And the dinosaurs are gonna tie it up and win on the tiebreaker. Wow.
And Arlie takes the win.
That was an unbelievably close and a sweaty game.
Yes.
Again, a situation with a lot of uncertainty. What does my opponent hold in hand? Which card got randomly generated from Le Raft? Who knows?
Yes, and it was so important on who had the initiative there, because if Arlie had the initiative, then Fisher would have copied the Devil Dino.
Instead of the Odin, yeah, that's just the highest cost card, the highest power card rather, and would have
And
won
Fisher,
2 locations.
yes, yes, you would have won.
Yeah, good spot there, a good call on the priority, making all the difference.
Oh, we're on to round 3. Is this round 3?
Round 3 and neck in neck it is so far.
Oh,
we see a
we
very
see a
early snap.
Turn 1 snap with Kamartage because, oh.
And a quick retreat, which of course makes perfect sense.
Yes.
Kamartage very heavily favoring the Thanos deck here,
Yes,
just by
yes.
doubling Time Stone and doubling any draw that it wants to provide.
Yeah, there's very little value for Arlie and in Kamartage. Maybe Sentinel, but it's not enough compared to, you know, the benefit the Thanos deck would get.
Absolutely. So
Oh, we
wise
see a
retreat here.
Queen Jet.
With Moon Girl in hand, we also see Iceman.
Oh, that's juicy. Yes. What would you play first, Queen Jet or Iceman?
Generally Iceman, because it's just more disruptive to our opponent's game plan.
I agree.
Unless I had Sentinel in hand, then I would go Quintet first.
Oh!
Reality Stone spawns the Nexus, and both have a very small unit there, already clogging up one space. The Iceman
Yes.
hitting the Devil Dinosaur
True.
again, being a true sniper.
But New York! So it doesn't really matter that the location is clogged, because
True.
you can move it on turn 6. But then, still, also remember Fisher's playing Thanos, so we have Space Stone, which means he can move Reality Stone away if he wants to earlier than turn 6.
Absolutely true. But we also need to remember that Arlie is playing some location control cards. Spider-Man is going to be huge for the Nexus, and Prof X allows for some crazy
True.
plays.
Yes, you're right.
Oh, it could even be Moon Girl into Spider. Well, okay, then double
Oh
Spider-Man
no,
doesn't make
not
sense
the
anymore.
Spider-Man. Double Spider-Man. But no, we can't. There's no
it's too
Zabu.
late.
There's no
Yeah.
Zabu.
Spider-Man on turn 6 doesn't make sense anymore.
Remember the double Zabu meta? A double Spider-Man meta?
Yeah, yeah.
And then Absorbing Man afterwards?
Especially the Spider-Man Absorbing Man combo, especially if it got copied by Moon Girl previously, just busting out more and more Spider-Man, more Absorbing Man. That was not the peak of Marvel Snap, let's say.
No. That was very, very toxic.
That pretty much nails it. Professor X coming out for TheFishou as well. Both players top decking Prof X, and that is a very interesting
Okay.
dynamic on.
But what difference is that
Nexus.
Arlie knows where Fisher is playing, whereas... Oh?
But the
Onslaught
onslaught
is coming down.
is so scary here. And Arlie now has the option to lock it down, to shut it down with Professor X and win the Nexus by 1 power. But, like earlier on, has to be worried of Blue Marvel or potentially Claw.
True. The claw, yes, the claw.
But with the Claw, it's tricky because Lockjaw is in the middle location.
Oh no, yes, you're right. Oh.
So maybe on turn 6, it's still dangerous. A Stone could get shuffled
Oh,
first
the
and then Lock.
Spider-Man could be coming down.
Could also be Spider-Man instead, that's true. Could be Spider-Man instead of Prof X, which still allows Arlie to play
Yes.
for the Nexus. That's probably the best play. I have to agree with you here.
Oh, this is so tricky.
This is a tough spot to navigate.
Yeah, this is definitely these decks a lot higher to navigate rather than comparing with like Sandman decks. There's very few options you can do. But here, I feel like there's so many different options.
I like it though. The discounted Spider-Man comes out, the full cost Sentinel. It's not going to spawn another card yet, but that is no problem. We are perfectly fine with that.
Yes.
And leaves one location slot open for a higher power card coming down in a second. So TheFishou has the play available that we talked about earlier on. He can still buff the Nexus by going Stone into Claw in the middle location.
But okay. So you put the claw in first, and then you put a stone in, hoping to draw the claw, right?
No, just the other way around, because the second card is not going to get shuffled anymore. So we play the Stone
Oh yeah,
first.
you're right. Of course. Yes.
The Lockjaw nerf. It happened. It's
But
real.
but it would have been so good if we could move the onslaught to the left side and then play claw.
Yeah, that is true, but unfortunately not possible. Although the Onslaught is also just a solid 7 power in the Nexus.
That's
It is
very
already good.
true.
So Arlie is just deciding on whether or not to drop the Chavez or go like
Oh.
White Queen Sentinel, while TheFishou did already hit the retreat later button, and I have
Yes.
to say this seems like a very wise decision.
Yes.
Spider-Man really proving his worth here in this game. And Daredevil already has for sure as well.
Daredevil is so good in these in tournaments.
You just have to wait for Arlie deciding what the optimal play here is. Of course, not a very easy decision to make, and the players are trying to optimize everything since they are playing for all the marbles.
I think they're trying to do the maths, right?
Yes.
To see if the claw comes out, whether it's enough to... Oh,
And here we go. We see a retreat by TheFishou being conservative with the cubes, but has to be a good call here.
is this? Oh, double the stakes.
Double the stakes, and both
Yes,
players are
let's
still
go.
stacked on HP. That
It's
makes
getting,
it
it's getting interesting now.
Yep. It's also a full-on neck-and-neck match. Both players are at exactly 7 cubes, so evenly matched. And an early snap coming out.
Oh, we have a retreat. That's free 2 cubes.
That is so good. Once the stakes are doubled, this is super impactful. TheFishou dropping down to 5 HP. Arlie still
But
holding
what was
7.
that snap? Was that the bluff snap?
I didn't pay full attention to the hand
Because
state.
I
Maybe it
don't
was
think
just
the hand was that good.
okay.
It's
What-
just Iron Man. Oh, I guess there was maybe low.
oh no, the snap was from Arlie.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So
oh,
because TheFishou's hand
snap
wasn't good.
again.
I think it's just Daredevil, Prof X, Spider-Man, and then
Oh, of course.
But TheFishou
yeah.
also has a cracked hand here with Lockjaw and the stone in hand,
Yeah.
and the snap is coming back
Oh, the
immediately.
Double snap. Okay, that is the risk you take when you snap. But
I'll be quite honest here. I don't like the turn 1 snaps by both players because they're not playing any single card. They could have passed turn 1, they could have passed turn 2. First see the other locations, and then still snap before they lock in their play.
yeah,
Both
I mean,
players-
it's always risky snapping before seeing all 3 locations,
Yeah.
isn't it?
And generally...
Oh,
Oh, Kamartaj coming down. This has to favor
That
TheFishou.
favors TheFishou for sure.
But there are some interesting interactions here. For example, Moon Girl now copying 2 cards, Sentinel spawning 2 more Sentinels. Can be very good with Quinjet in hand.
That's true. That's very true. You're right. But also there's the Raptors, Savage Land, just blocking 4 locations, you know, and because TheFishou is playing, you know, Thanos, there's not a lot of space for him to place cards. Plus Grand Central in the middle as well.
This is going to be an interesting game. That's probably what Arlie was considering. Do I really want multiple Sentinels? Because then Grand Central has more odds of pulling out a
Oh,
weaker
that's
card.
very true.
But does opt for exactly what we mentioned earlier on, Quinjet and doubling the Sentinel. Spider-Man is now a very interesting choice.
It is possible also, if you think about it, if he gets early initiative in Kamartaj, he can just Professor Exit,
Exactly.
and then the Lockjaw wouldn't even work.
This could also just be a Professor X, a Spider-Man into Professor X.
That's very true.
But Daredevil is also down. We can see a lot of mind games here. This could go either way. Depending on what Lockjaw pulls.
I
anything
like the
could happen.
Spider-Man play on Kamartaj, and then Professor X next turn. But we never know what the Mind Stone's gonna pull out, right?
Exactly.
It could be something crazy.
And Arlie does go for exactly that line of play, shutting down the Lockjaw on Kamartaj. Mindstone is going to draw 4 stones here, though, clogging TheFishou's hand. Oh no, the other stones were already out. And the Wasp gets pulled.
That is so painful.
That is devastating, and the Mind Stone gets top decked.
Oh,
Nonetheless, a Space
no.
Stone can save the Lockjaw here, but into the middle where you don't want it because that blocks the Grand Central pull.
Wait, and also if you think about it, TheFishou doesn't have initiative, which means he basically he can't play anything into Lockjaw lane because it would be locked. So
Yeah.
he has to. Oh my days.
And this is where, again, Daredevil is such a strong flex and tech choice for exactly these kinds of situations. In a high cube and high stakes game,
God.
this gives you such a big advantage.
Yes.
And TheFishou is already, it's a deathmatch for TheFishou. It's do or die. All 5 cubes are already invested.
I can see TheFishou having a chance if Grand Central pulls the Thanos in.
And Onslaught
It's
gets left for
possible,
the
right?
left.
It's possible.
It's not over yet, but it is getting tighter and tighter here. Arlie seems to be in a very dominant position. Sees the Iron Man come down and can just shut it down with a Professor X. Then has to worry about Blue Marvel, though, if that happens.
That's true. Oh.
We might, I think it's going to be Professor X on the right side, to be honest. Just double down, secure
Yeah,
the
yeah,
lane,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
go Devil Dinosaur, middle or left, depending on where your opponent shows you. Multiple
this
options,
is
though.
so tricky. That was so unlucky.
The
Pulling
Wasp
out the
pull,
Wasp.
that was rough. Professor X goes middle instead, not wanting to see any Grand Central action.
But Blue Marvel?
That is definitely a worry, but I guess Blue Marvel would have to go left. It can't get shuffled. Like you can't play Blue Marvel into Lockjaw. Although you could stone
Well,
it
you
then
can
Blue
blue Marvel and stone right.
Yeah, it is tricky. And so a lot of a lot of options here that Arlie had.
There's no blue Marvel. Are we wrong? There's no blue Marvel in this deck.
No, Blue Marvel is definitely in this deck. We did see 2 Blue Marvels.
So confused.
And
Oh, okay. Reality stone, but okay, we see.
so this could be triple stone instead of
Okay.
well,
okay.
onslaught
Okay.
of Thanos.
Okay.
TheFishou is having a tough decision here.
Oh, do you think this is a retreat? Because if he retreats, he still has 1 cube left.
What for? No, TheFishou has all 5 invested because both players snapped and it's already double stakes. They would be playing for 8.
Oh no! Wait.
TheFishou is do or die. He has to stay in this. He has to find the line
he
of play.
has to hope the reality stone gives him something good. Oh my. Oh
And
no!
Devil Dinosaur goes into the left, contests the Iron Man very effectively. Sentinel to double down on the right side just in case of tiebreakers.
No. Oh no!
And
Oh.
now very tense to see what TheFishou actually flips, what TheFishou pulls out of Lockjaw. And the Blue Marvel gets discovered. That turns the
my
Grand
God.
Central around. Soulstone is on the right side and does...
Oh my days!
Oh wow, what a pull. That was enormous.
Oh, that's not an. Oh!
And Arlie loses 5 cubes.
Oh my. That was so intense.
That was clutch.
The stones, this is just shows you the power of the stones, Infinity Stones.
The stones plus Blue Marvel.
Yes.
I guess Lockjaw really redeemed himself here after pulling the
Yes.
Wasp first and on his second attempt, on his second shot, pulling the one and only card that could flip this situation
I know,
around.
that was, that's the beauty of Lockjaw decks,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Well, if you play them yourself. If you play against them, it's like...
Well, yes, yes. Oh, that was just beautiful.
And now the tides have turned. Arlie is the one that has to hold on for dear life, but
Yes.
also only, like let's say only, has to win 3 games
Oh no!
to make the comeback. Reality Stone turns a location into Lechugia, which Lockjaw decks historically hate. Yeah. Oh, love-hate relationship maybe?
No, they definitely hate. Definitely hate.
Yeah. And the Iceman is coming down. Already did increase the cost of Blue Marvel. Again, like ruining that potential ramp play on TheFishou's side.
Yeah, and also usually, you know, on turn 6 you can play Blue Marvel and a stone. Now you can't do that anymore. Unless
True.
we get Elysium on location 3.
Yeah, and there's no more Blue Marvel into Onslaught. So Iceman did hit a high priority target. Maybe still is a bit traumatized or has some hate for Blue Marvel from the previous game.
Dark Dimension.
Dark Dimension is interesting. So generally speaking, Arlie will most likely have priority for the rest of the game. Because he has power in Dark Dimension and TheFishou
That's true.
won't until the final cards get flipped in most cases. Arlie does have the Daredevil play, potentially also Sentinel, but the Daredevil has been the true MVP of the series so far.
Oh, TheFishou decides to fill out the location.
Ooh, that is wild.
Risky.
But I guess TheFishou really doesn't want to draw rocks, which makes perfect sense. And TheFishou also, it's a bunch of unreveal effects. Doesn't make sense to
Yes.
play any of those into Dark Dimension.
It would have been so good if Blue Marvel didn't get hit, and then we can play Blue Marvel on 5 and Onslaught on 6 maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now this is so risky.
TheFishou does ramp up to 5 energy and the claw gets found. Is this the type to play into Lechugia? You have a turn 5, you have a turn 4 play?
Oh, that's true. We
You have
also
a turn
have
5 play
Claw.
and a turn
yes.
6 play.
Yes.
What about Claw left, Iron Man left, Onslaught left, just doubling down on left and middle?
I like that.
Would be an idea, let's see.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
But you have to be worried about this Daredevil and the potential Spider-Man and Professor X threat that it provides. White Queen is going to copy the Blue Marvel, giving the information what the Iceman hit.
Could be Onslaught or Thanos.
Could be Thanos. But at that point, I like Onslaught a lot more.
The White Queen, we don't know what... Oh,
We do.
yeah, Blue Marvel, we do know. We do know, yes.
And the Iron Man is coming down indeed into Lechugia. TheFishou seems to be opting for exactly that line of play, and this is not easy for Arlie to get back from, but we will see the Dino coming down. He must think about the Onslaught potentially coming to the left side.
Yeah,
So,
has to do some quick maths right there.
but has some good counterplays. It could be a Spider-Man to the left, shutting that combo down. Could also be Devil Dino in the middle just to secure the location for sure.
But Spider-Man left will lose you middle for sure.
That is true. That's not necessarily a spot you want to be in.
No.
So Arlie is in a bit of a pickle.
Also, Spider-Man left. TheFishou can still play Blue Marvel on last turn and still win left and middle.
That is a good point. Blue Marvel is a very threatening card in this matchup.
Oh, it looks like he's going for your play. He's hovering that Spider-Man for the left location.
What a tough
but then you
choice.
just lose. He just ends up losing middle.
Yeah.
Oh, this is too difficult.
Yeah, I think Arlie does not like his situation here. Does not like their situation, but it is impossible to retreat. Just because you are already having all of your cubes invested.
There's no point retreating because
Yes.
you just lose then.
So that's why Arlie is taking a lot of time and trying to find the best line of play, the one that maximizes the chances of winning, even though they may be low. Quinjet does come down in the middle. Not a huge help here because being debuffed by Soulstone.
With Iron Man, the combination of Iron Man and Blue Marvel is just too strong. It doesn't just add 3 power, it adds 6 power to the left side.
Absolutely. And it does flip the right side around. This is a tough situation
Which
for Arlie.
means that Arlie needs to add 6, 11, 12 to the left, but only 2 to the right. But that's not...
I don't see a line of play here. Arlie would have needed a
The
discounted
Quinjet.
Sentinel.
What about the Quinjet? We could have added maybe Devil Dino on the left and then Quinjet on the right.
Yeah, the Quinjet maybe should have gone right. But of course, it's impossibly hard to predict. We have caster vision right now.
True,
We are
true, true,
cheated.
true,
Blue
true,
Marvel
that's-
is coming out himself to tie the middle.
Oh!
But the Blue Marvel,
no.
it's a tie on the right, and it does carry the middle as well as the left with the Iron Man synergy. And a heartbreaking way to see Arlie go out.
That was an amazing comeback by TheFishou though.
Yeah, the Lockjaw.
Yes, the Lockjaw bringing out the Blue Marvel.
That was a true Houdini play, a Master Magician play. We were almost sure that Arlie had it. That was the deathmatch for TheFishou.
Because TheFishou only played 3 stones on turn 6.
Exactly.
It was the Lockjaw. Lockjaw won the game.
Yeah, Lockjaw pulling the
Yeah.
Blue Marvel was the storyline of this very high stakes game in the winner's bracket here.